good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shane Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. R. Kelly, who, I really remember him coming out around 1993-94 when I first heard him, when I was in 7th grade. And man, R. Kelly, man, was the shit at that time, in the early 90s, late 90s, 2000s. That's when like a lot of his really good work came out. But even when I was like 17 or 18, it was known, and it was before the internet, that R. Kelly messed with little underage girls. It was kind of hinted at that, and especially there was a sex tape that was leaked out in the black community around the whole world. And apparently it was a man that looked exactly like R. Kelly. A man that was supposedly messing with underage girls at the time. I don't know how many people saw it, but that was alleged on the tape. So it was known for a while. And this is what he did, especially with the Leah and things like that. Unfortunately for R. Kelly, he had some opportunities to get his stuff together. And while I'm not saying that everything is Mr. Kelly's fault, because I do believe that a lot of these women have come after him. I believe that a lot of these women wanted to be in his graces. They understood what was going on. It's probably a good chance that some didn't. All right, and I'm trying to be as fair as I possibly can. Some women were still going after R. Kelly despite knowing his situation. But 5 weeks, there's been details of the abuse and mistreatment that 11 women, and even some men, discussed about, what's going on with R. Kelly. Women claiming to get, incurable STDs. Then there was the Johanna Pace situation. It was just, things that, having them, use the toilet and getting permission to do the toilet. Some things like, what are you willing to do for music? Things like that. Again, I don't know how true all of it is, but I would believe that it's somewhere in the middle. That some people are lying, some people are telling the truth. But the reality is that R. Kelly has been convicted on all counts. Okay? What are these counts? Racketeering and sex trafficking. We all knew that R. Kelly was going to get this sentence. It was not going to be there. I think it was quite evident to know that. And I guess what I want to talk about is, for so many years, it seemed like R. Kelly was not going to be able to get caught, right? I believe also that Lifetime documentary really fucked him up. But I want to tell guys something, especially if you have money or you're on your way up. Anytime you feel that you're invincible when it comes to women, you're gonna lose. Okay? You got money. You got something to protect. You can't just be out here screwing people, guys. I think the days of guys being able to get away with extreme womanizing, I'm gonna tell you, like even James Brown, it was quite known in the 60s and the 70s that James Brown was quite the womanizer. He had many illegitimate children. Even one was in Sacramento. At that time, you could do whatever you wanted. Up until the 90s, you could do whatever you wanted. Some parts of the 2000s, you could do whatever you wanted. Now you can't do whatever you want. You have things that are happening to guys now. They're paying for it. They did 30 years ago. Bill Cosby and stuff. Okay? This is where the game is at now, guys. And I really feel like R. Kelly thought at certain points for some of the things that are alleged against him. I don't know all of which is true. But obviously we know about the STDs according to his doctors. So that part was true. I don't believe that they have any reason to lie about him. I just think that the whole story isn't told. But I do believe that while I can't verify it's true, I do believe that a good part of it can be proven. I think that Mr. Kelly thought that he was invincible. He was able to continue to be able to do what he wanted to do and not get away with it. And I know that R. Kelly himself suffered as abuse as a child. And he went through some tumultuous things. He was taken advantage of as an adult. I understand all of that. But in the court of law today, people don't care about that. What they care about is that these things are alleged against you. We believe that you did it. And you don't have any proof to say that you didn't do it. And I want black men to understand that's how it works. Okay? Doesn't matter the good that you did for people. Doesn't matter anything. Doesn't matter how many women threw themselves at you and then flipped a story. That could also be true in certain cases with R. Kelly. The reality of it is, nobody gives a shit. And the fact is, you have to be very careful. All right? You guys gotta be careful. All right? You just can't do the things, like I said, a lot of guys used to be able to do shit. Basketball players, Wilt Chamberlain and stuff, and it was okay. Nobody would tell on you. Now people can even make up shit about you, and it don't have to be true, and they can damage your reputation. Okay? This whole, living with 4 different women in your house at the same time and stuff like that. If you don't do it, you can't do it in America. Any kind of industry that you have some control over, entertainment, and asking women to trade their services for sex, even if they agree to it, they could always come back and say you did it when they didn't make it. And I believe there's a certain level of deception that's happening here too, that's not being talked about. R. Kelly, while I do believe he's guilty of probably a lot of things that are alleged of him, I think that there's also some things that he didn't do that people said he's guilty of, just out of spite or out of clout chasing. That he didn't just do all this by himself. Some of their parents, I believe, were wanting their kids to be with R. Kelly, just as they're implicated in things. So we know that also happened. But don't nobody care about that part. Only thing that people care about is, can you control your actions? And hey, Mr. Kelly set himself up in a situation where there are things that he could have took control over that he just didn't. And people want him to pay the price for that. Okay? The music career is over. You're broke forever. You're going to probably die in prison. All for what? I think guys are going to make a decision at some point. Let this be a lesson to you that if it can happen to R. Kelly, who can it not happen to? The normal guy don't have a chance, right? The average guy don't have a chance. If it can happen to him, who can it happen to? Guys gotta really be careful in today's world. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell, check out the first company at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.